Tonight, we entered the first NXT of the Oba Femi era. Oba kicking off NXT, talking about how he was backed by Destiny. Well, it was Destiny that sent out an old rival, Tony D'Angelo. Tony reminding Oba that he has beaten him, and the record now is 2-1 to the Don. Currently, if WWE want to run this program, it would be champion versus champion, which would be kind of fun to do. We could see, Tony lose that North American belt before challenging Oba Femi, though. We could see that. That makes sense. Ridge Holland with a late Christmas gift for Tony D'Angelo tonight would start those two brawling all the way to the back, leaving Oba Femi alone to be jumped by Eddy Thorpe. Eddy Thorpe upset he didn't win the match last week. Eddy, though, introducing a strap. Are we going to get Oba Femi versus Eddy Thorpe in a strap match? What? Eddy, are you mad? I know you want the NXT Championship, but Oba Femi will kill you. He doesn't need a strap to do it. But if you give the man a strap, he's going to kill you with the strap. Why? Well, thanks to the threatening behaviour of Oba Femi, Ava would make the match between Oba and Eddy Thorpe next week on a seemingly stacked NXT. This is things you might have missed for this week's NXT. Make sure you hit the like button, and if you are new to the channel, hit the subscribe button too. So we have to talk about the ongoing situation with commentator Corey Graves. Now, obviously, we know last week Corey Graves was a part of NXT. This week, he was not. Not on commentary for NXT. About half an hour after Raw finished last night, Corey Graves would put out a scathing statement regarding WWE, saying, imagine chasing your dreams, then being told, not deciding, that you're no longer physically able to pursue your dreams. Then you dedicate your life to something dream adjacent and being pretty fucking awesome at it. And then, when it's time to enjoy the fruits of your labour, being told you're not famous enough for your own job. Just in case you've wondered where I've been. Last week on NXT, while Corey was present on the commentary desk and while Corey would speak, he wasn't really active. It wasn't the usual Corey Graves. There was a tension there for sure. You could feel that something wasn't right. Following that statement, it starts to make a lot of sense that Corey views this as a demotion. And it's very hard not to. It's very hard to say, okay, the viewership that Raw and SmackDown get going to NXT is comparable, because it's not. The question then falls to, is this a work? Is this WWE doing some kind of elaborate storyline? Because there was news a while ago that Corey was cleared to wrestle, causing a lot of fans to question if this could lead to Corey Graves versus Wade Barrett or versus Pat McAfee, potentially at WrestleMania. Corey would tweet again today saying he's got a lot to say and to not miss NXT tonight on the CW. Now, obviously Corey wasn't on NXT tonight. So the question is WWE angry at Corey Graves? Did they remove him from NXT commentary? Did they not want to take the risk of giving Corey a live microphone? Maybe. Or is that just to add to the illusion of the work? I don't know. Corey's brother has tweeted that it's not a work, so we'll find out. I mean, this is something I think most people will keep an eye on for sure. I think a lot of people like Corey Graves, but let me know your thoughts in the comments section down below. Ethan Page would defeat Dante Chen tonight, but he wasn't finished there. He would drag Chen out of the ring, positioning his leg behind the steel steps before just maniacally, I love how they did this, maniacally sat next to him before he kicked the steps and potentially broke the leg of Dante Chen. After the heinous act by Ethan Page, Javon Evans would make his return, coming down trying to get some revenge on Ethan Page. With his jaw wired shut though, one huge sucker punch, and that was it. Javon was down, blood once again trickling from the mouth of Javon Evans. Now, I apologise in advance, but I got a few things I need to rant about. First things first, Zaria. NXT. What the fuck are you doing to Zaria? When NXT would do the promo videos for then Delta to arrive to NXT, it was like we was looking at a post-apocalyptic world and the only person to survive was Zaria. They built her up in such a way that you thought, okay, this is going to be the final boss of the women's division. Fast forward a little bit, and she's just in backstage skits with other women, mostly extras that we don't see on TV week after week, because, Kalani Jordan's a little bit upset. Like, why is she trying to be people's friends? Why is she trying to be a tag team partner with Sol Ruka? Why is she trying to be nice to Kalani Jordan? Like, it doesn't fit the character they built for Zaria. Is it recoverable? Of course it is. It's NXT. Of course they can do pretty much anything they want at any time and push anyone to the moon. But, I mean, she doesn't need to be there. Zaria does not need to be included in this. Her mystique should be protected, and you see her when she's needed. Do you know what I mean? To be clear, I mean this with no negativity to Shotzi. I love Shotzi, but Shotzi tonight defeated Stephanie and become the number one contender for the Women's North American Championship. Protected, yes, by the fact that both Fallon Henley and Jacy Jayne would get involved during this match. But the truth is, Stephanie Vaquer should not have been in this position at all. Again, it feels like NXT has done nothing but build up Stephanie to the point where, okay, last week she won a number one contenders fatal four-way match to then be put in another match tonight with Shotzi to defend that spot of being number one contender. Why? Just what nonsensical booking was that? Because Shotzi pinned the champ? Well, Shotzi also then should get a shot. Not they battle out to get the shot. What? There seem to be a few production issues with NXT also tonight. And obviously the first thing to mention, no commentary during the first part of Stephanie versus Shotzi. There was a few times the lights went out, like the black screen of death would happen during NXT. Not sure if this was like wardrobe malfunctions though, which obviously would explain it. And then this! Who the fuck did this? Look at this. You've got the Meta Girls on the left and you have the Unholy Union on the right, except that is clearly not Alba Fyre. That is Jacy Jayne. What are we doing? What? As Gregory pointed out on my Discord server, Unholy Union are witches. Maybe this is a spell, so they have to look like someone else. It's like a disguise. Let's go with that. Absolutely zero complaints, though, about their tag team match tonight. Metaphor, Unholy Union delivered. Really good match. Metaphor would pick up the win. Do you think the Meta Girls have a chance? They are now the number one contenders to Bianca and Naomi's Women's Tag Team Championships. So let me know your thoughts. Can they win? In the comment section down below. Smooches on NXT for Carmen Petrovic and Ashante the Adonis. Now, okay, I'm okay with this. See where it goes. What's the storyline going to be? I honestly don't know, but we'll see. Thanks to Ren Sinclair, it looks like Charlie Dempsey may be getting a rematch for the Heritage Cup. Ava seemingly agreed that seemed like a good idea. Obviously, Lexus King just got his plate put on. But they was interrupted by the noise from the parking lot as a parking lot brawl was happening between Tony D'Angelo and Ridge Holland. We'd later find out that these two will collide next week for the North American Championship. The TNA Knockouts champion, Masha Slamovich, was in the front row for NXT tonight. That was pretty cool to see. We haven't seen a crossover between NXT and TNA for a little while, so looks like that's still ongoing. Cora Jade would get slapped by Kalani Jordan on her birthday. Oh, poor Cora Jade. But she did make up for it later on, as Cora would defeat Kalani Jordan tonight. Now, interestingly, a lot of people theorising the fact that this was done in front of the TNA Knockouts champion. Could Cora Jade potentially be next in line for a TNA World title match? DIY were on NXT tonight, obviously there to keep an eye on tonight's main event, the NXT Tag Team Championships, as OTM took on Fraxium, and they specifically said they were keeping an eye on Nathan Frazier and Axiom. After Vic Joseph's candy would go flying, so would Fraxium, as Nathan Frazier would dive from the top rope through the announce table, and I mean that table imploded. We'd then see a hell of a Spanish fly for Fraxium to retain the NXT Tag Team Championships. Tonight it was teased that Trick Williams is going to take some time to figure out what his next move is going to be. Trick was not on the show, but obviously a lot of people wondering if Trick could be called up to the main roster. I don't like people losing their jobs, but can someone please fire this cameraman? Why is he filming someone's feet Record their face. We need to know who this person was. Right in the last 10 minutes of NXT, we'd see someone pull up in the parking lot and walk towards the NXT building. Who is it that arrived at NXT? Roxanne Perez would be in the final segment of the night in ring talking about losing the NXT Championship, rightfully talking about her accomplishments of making the NXT women's division great. Kind of looked like a bit of a face turn for Roxanne to turn it straight back around into trolling the fans, saying Julia's not going to do what I did, I'm the reason the division was great, etc. Well, those boots, well, it didn't take long to reveal they belonged to Bayley. Bayley returned to NXT tonight, confronting Cora Jade, telling her that the NXT women's division will be fine without her. A few back and forths with Bayley saying, you know, I'm going to go on to WrestleMania, I'm going to beat Tiffany Stratton for the women's championship. And then the brawl would happen. We are going to be getting Bayley versus Roxanne Perez. That is brilliant. I love that. I really want to see that match. I know I ranted a bit, but this show was still good, and there was still a lot on it, especially that main event segment with Bayley returning to NXT. Easy 7.5 out of 10. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. If you are new to the channel, hit the subscribe button, like the video, share the video, and I'll see you as always next time. Peace!